Hey guys, and welcome back. I recently picked up this Makita cordless track saw, and I thought that I'd open it with you guys, and we can see what comes with it and all that good stuff. Just real quick, one of the reasons that I got it was because, working in a small basement, it's hard to flip sheets of plywood around, let alone getting plywood down here to begin with. So I thought that the track saw would be a really great way, especially to cross-cut those pieces while I'm breaking them down. And maybe even doing it outside because it's cordless, it'd be really easy to just take it out there with a pair of sawhorses and start right there. The other reason is because I've already started investing in the Makita battery platform, and so I thought that, especially with this using two batteries, you got to factor that into it. When you're not using the saw, you still have those batteries available. So with that being said, let me bring you in a little bit closer and we'll open it up and see what's inside. I almost forgot that this tool comes with two sustainer cases that all of the stuff fits within. And since the box is pretty big anyways, it'll be easier just to plop these down here and show you. The sustainers were another reason that I was looking at the Makita set, because they also work with Festool stuff as well. And not that I have any Festool products, but these cases I anticipate will be really good for when I'm taking these tools outside the workshop. Just transporting them, and I'm sure there's plenty of other uses for them as well. So, see in this one we've got some instructions. We've got both of the batteries that this saw will take, two 5 amp hour batteries. I will say I'm really impressed with the 5 amp hour batteries that I got for the drill and driver. Excuse me, they're 4 amp hour batteries. Just normal working in the shop and working on my house too, they seem to last I'll go like a week between charging them. So like I said, I'm really happy with them so far. And then the last thing in here is we've got the charger station itself. Now another kind of cool thing about this set is that this charger station has 2 charging ports, whereas the one that comes with the drill and driver only had 1. So I anticipate what I'll do is I'll actually mount this somewhere in the shop and keep that to resupply while I'm down here, and then have the one bank one kind of go mobily with me, and I think that that'll be a really efficient way to use these. And then the sustainer itself, your normal plastic case, the foam padding on the top and the bottom. Bottom comes out pretty easily. The top, it looks like there's a couple of pins on it holding it in place, but I'm sure we could take those out and repurpose it if we want to. Okay, and then for the big one, what we've all been waiting for. A bunch of packaging, some more paperwork, and the tool itself. So I'm probably not going to be the best person to give you a true tool review on a track saw, just because I've never actually used one before. I've used plenty of circular saws and using straight guides with them, and the discrepancy that you get with them is really the reason that I got this tool in the first place. So with that being said, I'll show you some of the features on the saw and everything, but I'm going to wait until after I've used it on a couple of projects to release this video and give you my opinions on it, but also to really comment on how it works. So let me bring you in a little bit closer and we'll just do a little 360 and look at some of the features on this. Okay, so here we have what we really came here for. This is the 36 volt Makita brushless cordless track saw. Just my initial first impressions of it, it feels like a good weight for a track saw. You want it to be heavy enough to sit on the board and not wiggle around too much, but light enough so that you're not going to get fatigued all day. It's got a really easy locking mechanism here that's very natural, and it's got an actual mechanical lock to release the saw to go down. It's got the 2 battery ports on the front and the back, and it looks like it's even got the battery to show how much battery life is left right there. Relatively easy looking adjustments for looking at the angle, and also to adjust the depth. And yeah, overall it seems pretty standard. It seems like what you pay for. So I think that the last thing is just to look at the track, and we'll start using it pretty soon. Here we have the Makita track. I don't know how much there is to say about it because I think it's a pretty standard design. From what I've read online, it works with a few different brand tools. One thing that I'm thinking about as I was opening this up was getting the attachment for the router to run along this as well. I think that that'll work really well for making dados and some of that work where you would normally use a straight edge. This may be a bit easier. But I guess I'll have more to say about this as I start working on a few projects coming up, and I'll touch back with you guys pretty soon. Hey guys, Nick from the future here, and I'm in the shop right now working on another project, but after being able to use the TrackSaw for a little bit, I wanted to give some of my initial impressions for it, and I think that they can be best summed up by I wish I would have gotten it sooner. Especially in the small shop where I can't flip a bore or a 4x8 sheet of plywood end over end or stand it up or anything. It makes it a lot easier to be able to lay the piece down and just cut along it without having to move it around. That's been huge for me. The other thing that's been nice is cutting even the rips oversize to be able to rip down easier on the table saw. I'm sure you guys have tried ripping a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and it's not the safest or easiest thing to maneuver around. But when you only have to rip like an inch off of it, it's a lot easier than, you know, splitting a piece in two. I haven't actually clamped the piece down yet. I found that the grip on the bottom of the track is good enough, and that my track saw doesn't want to slip or slide around at all, even going through 3/4 inch plywood. I didn't make any video about setting it up at all. I don't feel that I'm really qualified to give you that opinion, but here's a video that I think will work better for that. I will say, as for the sustainers, I've been using the big one just to keep the track saw in. It's a little bit inconvenient, and I think that if it was on a drawer system that could tuck away more neatly, it would be better. As for the smaller one that the batteries came in and the charger, I took the charger out and have not put the charger back in yet, and I don't really anticipate that I will. So if that's the way that you intend to store it outside of it, great. If you intend to use it for storage, I think that that'd be a bit inconvenient. But as I said earlier, I think that those sustainers are pretty interchangeable, and there's a lot of videos on making custom tool organizers for something else out of them. So, you know, something to keep in mind with it. We wanted to thank you for watching this short and sweet video on the Makita track saw. If you liked that tool review, I'll link another one right here that you might enjoy as well if you're looking at the Makita line. I've been very happy with it so far and plan on investing more into it in the future. That being said, if you subscribe and like and comment if you'd like, and have fun building. Thanks, guys.